Hi, I'm Laura. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be giving you fall film recommendations, aka films that I watched in September and October that are perfect for fall. So if you're interested, continue watching this video. So if you want to curl up on your sofa with a hot drink under a blanket and watch something very good on these dark, gloomy, miserable fall evenings, I have 11 films for you that I think you might enjoy. And we will start with something educational. If you want to watch a documentary this fall, you have to watch The Game Changers. The Game Changers is a 2019 documentary presented to you by James Cameron, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jackie Chan, Lewis Hamilton, Novak Djokovic, and Chris Paul. So every sportsman that is someone in their field, and a filmmaker, James Cameron. This is a plant-based documentary which shows the benefits of a plant-based diet on the lives of elite athletes. The documentary talks about what a vegan diet can do to your health, to your performance, to your endurance, to your strength. I think that everyone should watch it, especially if you are a non-vegan and you want to just understand why people go vegan. I'm talking about understanding why elite athletes, why the strongest people in the world, why Lewis Hamilton, the Formula One driver, why Novak Djokovic, an elite tennis player, why Serena Williams and Arnold Schwarzenegger don't eat meat. I think that if you're in the mood to watch something that can impact your life heavily but positively, I recommend watching Game Changers. It is entertaining as well, and I think as a human being you owe it to yourself to know what happens to your body. So I think you will want to watch it. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it so much. I was laughing, I was learning new things even though I'm vegan and I've been vegan for the past 3 years. So The Game Changers is something that you should watch if you want to learn something about your own body and about your lifestyle. So go over to Netflix and watch it. The Game Changers was the last film that I watched in October, and now I will tell you about every film that I watched in September and then in October, because I just wanted to tell you about The Game Changers in the beginning. And now let's go to the first feature film that I watched in September, which was The Tale from 2018, directed by Jennifer Fox. The Tale is a story of a grown woman who suddenly starts to recall traumatic experiences from her past. She has no recollection of those events until her mother, by accident, finds one of the essays that Jennifer had written when she was just a teenager. Jennifer is a relentless, strong woman, and as a journalist, she wants to figure out why she doesn't remember those things and what exactly happened. I was moved from the very first scene. The acting was powerful, and Laura Dern was just brilliant in her role. This film doesn't deal with an easy topic to talk about, but it deals with it beautifully. If you are looking for a very good drama or a nice fall evening, definitely consider watching The Tale. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Then I watched Grey Gardens from 2009, directed by Michael Sucsy. This is a feature film that is based on a documentary that was released in the 1970s, which showed the actual lives of the Beale family, the aunt and the first cousin of Jackie Kennedy's. They used to be members of New York City high society, but for some reason they withdrew from the social scene and they moved to their estate called Grey Gardens, and they managed to bring bad press to Jackie Kennedy and to themselves. Grey Gardens is brutally honest in the way it shows how someone's dreams and aspirations can be crushed by unsupportive family relations. The family dynamics of the Beale family is complicated, to say the least. Grey Gardens won 2 Golden Globes, including one for Drew Barrymore for the Best Actress in a TV Movie, and Jessica Lange was also nominated for this same award, and you can see how amazing they are. Jessica and Drew both managed to show the eccentricity of their characters so brilliantly, to such an extent that when I was watching it, I was uncomfortable because I just didn't want to watch these women doing anything anymore. That's how great they are. So I gave Grey Gardens a 7 out of 10 just because the subject matter was just a bit uncomfortable for me, but on the other hand, it had a vibe to it. There was disrepair, there was gloominess, there was this derelict building, and I think for fall, these are the vibes that you're looking for. Something decaying, something not quite fresh and eccentric, a bit spooky even. So Grey Gardens is something that I highly recommend that you watch on a fall evening, and I gave it a 7 out of 10, and Drew and Jessica, incredible. After Grey Gardens, I watched Tully from 2018, directed by Jason Reitman. It is a story about Marlo, played by Charlize Theron, a mother who is trying to get her life back together, which at this point is a complicated mess. She is desperate, so she hires a night nanny who helps her navigate her life and just become an organized person again. But it turns out that Tully changes her life dramatically. The humor in Tully is weird and quirky and right up my street. At first I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but I really enjoyed observing how Marlo was trying to get her life back together and exploring who she really was. It's a feel-good comedy / drama which will not turn your brain off. The script was sharp, the dialogues were witty, and the characters were well-rounded, especially Tully, played by Mackenzie Davis. Overall, it was a very entertaining film. If you like comedy / drama / comedy drama, you will enjoy Tully. I gave it an 8 out of 10. The next film that I watched in September was Parasite by Bong Joon-ho from 2019, and as requested by the director himself, I can't tell you what it is about, I can't tell you what it deals with, I can only tell you my rating. So I gave it a 9 out of 10. It is best if you go into Parasite without knowing anything about it. So enjoy, a 9 out of 10. Speaks for itself, I hope.
진짜로 이상한 게 뭔 것 같아?
Let's just casually continue, shall we? The next film that I watched in fall was The King of Comedy from 1982, directed by Martin Scorsese. Right? Robert De Niro plays Rupert Pupkin, a mentally deranged, aspiring stand-up comedian. And this stand-up comedian, who is a failure of an artist, wants to become a professional. When he manages to get in the car with one of the most famous comedians of his time, Jerry Langford, played by Jerry Lewis, he thinks that it automatically gives him a golden ticket and he will become famous just like that. Isn't that right? But unfortunately for Rupert, he is no good and everyone knows about it except for himself. I must say that it was fascinating to see Robert De Niro playing a complete loser. I'm not used to seeing him playing such roles, and it was fascinating but a bit painful at the same time. However, he was completely into the role and he was simply incredible. Currently there is a bit of a hype around The King of Comedy connected with the premiere of Joker. I don't know what it is about yet, but I'm going to find out next week or in 2 weeks' time, so I will know how they are connected. But for the time being, I gave The King of Comedy a 7 out of 10. If you weren't planning on watching The King of Comedy, you should. Max, are you good? He weighs 5 kilos. Almost. He is a little ball of fur. It was his birthday yesterday. He is now 14. But it was supposed to be a film video, so can be in the background. Whoa. We'll continue with this video with the two of us. Me, the host, and him, the pretty cat. Next I watched The Promised Land from 1974, directed by Andrzej Wajda. It is a Polish film and it's an adaptation of the book by the same title, written by Władysław Reymont, a Polish Nobel Prize winner. In September and October I watched a lot of Peaky Blinders, with the exception of season 5 because I don't think it should be considered as Peaky Blinders anymore. But I watched a lot of Peaky Blinders, and watching The Promised Land was like watching Peaky Blinders set in Poland at the beginning of the 20th century. in an industrial city, and it was creepy. It was actually very, very similar because you have ruthless characters, vicious people who are focused and they want to achieve their goal no matter what. The three main characters in the Promised Land want to become millionaires and they don't care who or what stands in their way. The film was a bit too long for me and there were moments in which I felt that it was dragging, so it could have been a bit shorter, but I still enjoyed it very much. And I highly recommend it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Enjoy. Then the next film that I watched in October was Portrait of a Lady on Fire, a French historical drama directed by Céline Sciamma, I hope I pronounced it correctly, from 2019, and boy oh boy, it won the Queer Palme d'Or at the Cannes Festival in 2019, and Céline Sciamma also got an award for the best screenplay also in Cannes. So this is a beautiful piece of writing and a beautiful piece of cinema, if I can say so myself. The film character of the film is Marianne, who is a painting teacher, and she had been commissioned to paint a portrait of Eloise, who has to get married, and she has to send her portrait to her future husband, who will decide if he wants to marry her or not. Along the way, the characters get to know each other and the portrait is being made. And this is everything that I can tell you about this film because, first of all, I don't want to spoil you the pleasure of watching this film. If you liked Call Me By Your Name, you will love Portrait of a Lady on Fire. It is incredibly poetic, visual, sensual. It is set in a gorgeous area where you have cliffs and the sea, and also the huge mansion, which is just beautiful, the costumes, and the most important thing, the cinematography. Because if you take any frame from the film, it looks like a genuine painting. Also, there is a fall-like setting, so when you go outside with the characters, it is the end of summer, you can feel the crisp air and the leaves starting to turn orange and red and yellow. The characters are so poised and eloquent and also shy, but also confident. There is so much going on in this film that I couldn't get everything from one viewing. I think I will rewatch this film because it left me speechless, it left me broken inside, it left me longing for deep human connection. If that isn't a good recommendation, I don't know what is. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I think after I rewatch it, I will give it a 10 out of 10 because it was also in French, so I could practice my French. But other than that, it was one of the best films that I watched in 2019. And when I make my video, the best films that I watched in 2019, I will probably include Portrait of a Lady on Fire because I was speechless. So go watch Portrait of a Lady on Fire whenever you can and enjoy. If you're in the mood for something spooky this fall, The Wedding from 1972, directed by Andrzej Wajda, is a good choice, I think. It's also an adaptation of a giant of a play by the same title, written by Stanisław Wyspiański in 1901. It talks about the tensions between Polish nobility and Polish peasantry, and also it is revolving around the traumatic events, which were the failed Polish uprisings and also an event called Galician Slaughter. The film starts with a wedding between an upper-class groom played by Daniel Olbrychski and a peasant bride played by Ewa Zientek. Both the groom's and the bride's family and friends attend the wedding, and there are a lot of tensions between the parties on the events level, and there is also a hallucinatory level which adds the spookiness to the film. I must say that I really appreciate what Wajda did when he adapted this film onto the screen, because that is a truly admirable achievement. However, I read the play when I was in high school and I didn't like it to begin with. Hence, I didn't like the film. I just bored myself to death with it. I only watched it for the sake of watching it because it's in my curriculum, but I wouldn't watch it on my own. From the second part onwards, I was just waiting for it to end. I don't like the topic, I don't like the time and the place in which the film and the play are set, so there was nothing for me to like except for the acting, because in The Wedding you can see Polish film stars of the age and they did an amazing job. The spooky level was more interesting to me. I don't think it was present in the play, or maybe I just didn't read into it, but it was interesting. But that was the only thing that kept me watching the film. So I'm not saying that The Wedding is a bad film. It is a film that you either have to be in a mood for, or it is a topic that fascinates you and you simply have to watch it. Either way, I recommend it to you. Watch it and see for yourself if it's the type of cinema that you enjoy. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother with it. I gave The Wedding a 7 out of 10. I would have given it a 4 just for the experience of watching it, but I appreciate the craftsmanship and the effort that went into making this film. So that's a 7 out of 10 for me, but subjectively, I didn't like it at all. This is a recommendation for everyone who sometimes feels drained after work, after school, and in the evening just wants to watch something easy, sometimes stupid, sometimes illogical, and something that they wouldn't watch if they weren't tired. If you are this person sometimes, I think you should consider watching Murder Mystery from 2019, directed by Kyle Newachek. The film stars Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler. They play a couple from New York who go on a very, very late honeymoon to Europe. And on the plane, they meet this very rich guy who is going to take them on his private yacht. And on this private yacht, someone is murdered. And you have a mystery. You have to solve the mystery with the main characters. This is a Netflix original comedy, and the level of humor is like this low. Of course, for me, because I don't like comedies with that type of sense of humor, but I enjoyed it so much. Normally I wouldn't watch Murder Mystery, but for some reason I felt like it was a good choice. I started watching it once, I didn't like it, then I tried to watch it the second time, I didn't like it, but then when I was so tired that I just needed to switch my brain off, I thought, okay, Murder Mystery, third time's a charm. I watched it and I loved it. If you like this type of sense of humor, if you like Jennifer Aniston because she was brilliant, I think you will like it. If you like Adam Sandler, you will get what you want. Adam Sandler is there, he is Adam Sandler. But I think that if you need something that will just make you happy, relaxed, you will smile after that and you don't have to think about anything else when you watch it, Murder Mystery is for you. I gave it, I don't even remember, but I think I gave it a 6 or maybe a 7 out of 10. I wouldn't normally watch it, so I was very generous. And if you're in the mood for something like that, watch Murder Mystery. If you're also in the mood for something light and fun and interesting, you should consider watching The Hustlers from 2019, directed by Lorene Scafaria. This is a story of girls and women dancing in strip clubs in 2007, 8, and onwards. The main character, Dorothy, is a beginner dancer and she becomes friends with Ramona, played by Jennifer Lopez, who introduces her to the world of stripping and dancing in nightclubs. So they pair up and they become this incredible money-making machine for the club because they just are amazing at what they do. However, in 2008, the crash comes and Wall Street guys don't have so much money to spend on strippers, so they don't come to the clubs anymore. And Ramona has some interesting ideas on what they can do with that. The Hustlers is very easy to watch. I watched it for Jennifer Lopez, and I'm not going to hide it. Jennifer Lopez, in my opinion, is one of the most beautiful women on earth. And the way she danced, I have to give you a backstory. Before I watched this film, I watched a lot of YouTube videos in which Jennifer Lopez was showing how she was preparing for the role, and boy, the things that she did with her body, the things that she did on this pole, and the way that she could learn all of these moves. Like, Jennifer Lopez is a dancer, and what she had to do to learn all of these new moves and the way that she performed in this role was incredible and admirable. And she is 46 at this point, and she is just an inspiration. So if you want to watch very beautiful women dancing on the screen, if you want to learn something about female friendship and also about hustling and about the reality of strippers in 2007 and 8 when there was this big crash, then I think you should watch The Hustlers. It was very easy on the eyes, and Cardi B plays herself, like she is incredible. You have to watch it. I gave it a 7 out of 10. And the last film that I watched in October was You Can't Take It With You from 1938, directed by Frank Capra. If you don't know this about me, I follow the Oscars closely every year, and I also watch every single film that has ever been awarded the Oscar for the Best Picture. And I don't have many left to watch, and I had You Can't Take It With You to watch, and I thought I would share it with you. I will make a video about me watching all of the Oscar nominated and awarded films, because this is something that I do, and I love American cinema, which will be reflected in the next video because I'm attending American Film Festival, so you will see everything that I watch there, and I will make a video about the Oscars. And I really wanted to watch something that would cheer me up and lift my spirits and just make me feel really warm and fuzzy inside. And You Can Take It With You is a film that does that to you. You Can Take It With You is a very easy to watch feel-good film talking about the importance of living a happy life and a life that is uniquely yours and not anybody else's. Frank Capra directed It's a Wonderful Life and It Happened One Night, and if you like these films, you will definitely enjoy You Can't Take It With You. It is funny, it is still accurate, the dialogues are witty still, even though it's 80 years old. This film hasn't aged. It truly hasn't aged. I highly recommend it for the evenings, which are a bit colder and you are feeling a bit insecure and unsure of yourself, because You Can't Take It With You will remind you that you can do it, whatever it is you want to do. I'm a bit corny right now, but I love this stuff and I'm reaching out to you right now. If you are feeling a bit down this fall and you really need something to help you get out of this hole of sadness and misery and put you in a good mood, then You Can Take It With You will do that too. I gave You Can Take It With You a strong 8 out of 10. I highly recommend it, and if you need a friend, Frank Capra will be your friend. Those were all of the films that I watched in September and October that I think will be perfect for you for fall. Every single one of these films will make you feel either warm and fuzzy inside, or intrigued, or just understood, or will entertain you in one way or another, and all of them are perfect to watch around fall. So we still have November to go and the beginning of December, so there you go. And if you watch any of the films that I recommended, please let me know in the comments down below what you thought of them, if you liked them, if you didn't like them, also if you watched them already, because I want us to share our opinions about films here as well. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I make videos about films, minimalism, veganism, travel, learning, and creating your own dream life. So if any of these areas sounds interesting to you, make sure to subscribe. And also follow me on Instagram if you want to see more of me and my daily life and what I'm up to on a daily basis. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I inspired you to watch some of these films and that you will enjoy them. And I wish you a lovely day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!